Hi, my name is Amber. Welcome back to my channel, Books and Beaches. So today we are here to talk about all of the books that I read in December. So this is actually probably going to be a pretty quick video because I didn't read that many books in December. I was so proud of myself for keeping up with Bookmas and posting a video every other day. But I realized that took a lot of my time. And so I just didn't read as much. Now, granted, I did have a lot going on in December too. So I was reading small bits every day, but I just wasn't reading like a massive amount of books. So this should go pretty quickly because I think there's actually only 4 titles that I need to talk about. So the first of which was a book that I received off of NetGalley, called Xmas Break, and this is by J.E. Rowney. Now, I think it would actually be considered a novella because it was only 181 pages. We have 2 estranged sisters who decide to spend the Christmas holiday together. And so one sister is driving to the other sister's house, and they live in this house like in the middle of the mountains. It's very secluded, and it's during a snowstorm. So they fly to her house, and they have an Uber driver drop them off, and things just feel a little off. They said the house feels a little off. She didn't expect her sister to be able to have a house like this, and odd things start happening. They lose power, and then things just kind of go haywire from there. I don't want to say too much because it is more of a novella. I think I expected more, especially because the author portrayed it, or the publisher, whoever in NetGalley, portrayed it as something you could like read each chapter. Because there were 25 chapters, so you could read one for like every day of, the Christmas holiday. I found I just wanted to, read it a little bit faster than that, although it still took me a while to read it, but that was my own personal thing. So I gave it about 2 stars. I don't know. It was pretty predictable to me. There were a few things I guess I didn't see coming, but other than that, just kind of fairly predictable. But it was a Christmassy, holiday, wintry themed book, so it fit. After that, I picked up another short story, and this was The Gift by Frida McFadden. And I had never read this by Frida. I'm trying to basically read her to zero. I feel like I'm almost there, and so I knew I needed to pick this one up. And this one was definitely strange. We had a waitress who is trying to decide what to get her husband for Christmas because they are very broke, basically. I actually think it even says here, it's Christmas Eve and Stella is broke. So, she's trying to decide, what to get him. And she runs into this old woman in the diner that she's working at. And she's like, come look at my shop of stuff. I'm sure we can find something. And that's all I want to say from there. It took some twists that I was not expecting, but I mean, that's Frida McFadden in a nutshell. But this one, since it is only 41 pages, I don't want to say too much. I enjoyed it. I gave it a 3. It was nothing that blew like my socks off or anything like that, especially in less than 50 pages, but I enjoyed reading it. So there was that. After that, I finally finished reading All of the Colors of the Dark by Chris Whitaker. Now, I had been doing a buddy read with Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand, Lindsay from Lindsay's Little Library, Jen from The Bookish Blonde, and then I think Amanda from the, what's Amanda's, she's not the curly reader anymore. It'll be linked down below. And we had kind of been doing like a buddy read through Voxer, talking about this, and I fell way behind because I think most of the other girls finished it in November. But I took this one very slowly. Now, if you are unfamiliar with this book, although I feel like everybody is talking about it, we have the perspective of a couple different people. It's very literary. I had never read anything by Chris Whitaker before. But we have these 2 people. I want to say Scout, but her name is not Scout. She just reminds me of Scout. We have our main character, Patch, he's called Pat. His nickname is Patch because he always wears an eye patch because he only has one eye. And then now I can't think of what her name is. Sorry, everybody. I'm really blanking on names, but that's, things and I'm looking at people's reviews trying to see if they would help me, but this is me in a nutshell. Anyways, we also have a female main character who they were like best friends growing up. Now Patch ends up going missing and is kind of held captive at the beginning of the story. And that really has an effect on the rest of his life. Sorry for the noise. Of course, when I'm filming, garage noises. But, and so this story is told through multiple different time periods of these two and dealing with the outcomes of Patch being taken and then eventually, you know, rescued, and how both of their lives progress dealing with this. So it is very literary. It is very slow burn. I'm doing a terrible job at describing it. I liked it, but I don't think I loved it as much as everyone else has. And I think Lindsay and I kind of felt the same way about this, where Sarah and Jen absolutely loved it in like best book of the year status. For me, I gave it a 4 because I enjoyed it, but it took me so long to digest it and like really take it in. Now that was both me just being busy and the book being very, very long. And while I think it was really well done, I think with being so long and being slow burn, I just needed a little bit more for my personal reading style. But it is by no means bad. It's a wonderful story. There were so many twists and turns and problems in life to deal with, and that's why I really liked it. So I'm still happy that it's a 4. And like I said, if you watched my previous video, you know 2024 was like the year of 4 stars, but it just wasn't like mind-blowing for me. But as I'm looking at Goodreads here, it truly is mind-blowing for a lot of people because there's so many people that have rated it 5 stars. So there's that one. And then the last book that I picked up in December was Run Unread, and this is by Noelle Eiley, I believe. We had read one of her books for my book club, my in-person book club, and that was Ask for Andrea. And so I noticed that I think a few of her books were available on Kindle Unlimited, so I wanted to pick up something else. And this book took me on a wild ride. We have 2 girls that are kind of driving through the mountains, heading to, you know, a party off campus, and they start to get chased down by a truck. And they don't know who this truck is. They don't know why they're chasing them. This was, you know, the time of early cell phones and very, very spotty reception. Not that if you were in the mountains, you wouldn't have spotty reception today. And it just goes from there. And it takes you on quite the wild ride. Now, is it one of the best thrillers that I've ever read? No, but I felt that it was told in a pace quick enough, and the chapters, you know, left you off on enough cliffhangers that I wanted to keep, you know, ingesting it, reading it. And so I like Noelle's writing, and so I look forward to seeing, you know, other things that she has written. I liked this one. I gave it a 4, and it was just kind of a good way to end the year. So like I said, I didn't do a ton of reading in December, but I was proud of all of those videos I got out. So what did you pick up in December? Anything that I should be adding to my list? Feel free to let me know in the comments below. As always, if you like this video, feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.